What is up, everybody, and welcome to a solo rogue Manitombs farming guide. The year is 2026. This is the second re-release of TBC Anniversary. This is the first week that Karazhan came out. It's Saturday, the week of, and I just wanted to make a video after watching a lot of really good guides. I didn't get a chance to play TBC Classic, even though it's my favorite expansion. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it in the previous anniversary release, so I'm very excited to play it on my main character model, Rogue, this time around. Farming chests and gems and instances is a very, very fun, stress-free way to farm. You can be very distracted. I do a hover video pop-up, usually of YouTube or something else that sticks on my WoW screen, and just have a very casual time about it, even die sometimes and don't even care because the run back's so chill. But my goal today was just to record a video that really goes into depth about lots of little things. A lot of people are really focused on all the gold they could make, and that's my cat. You'll hear her sometimes. And gold is extremely important, and that's the whole point of doing this. But I just wanted to show a lot of the potential and options you can go over as someone who might not have any gear, might be overly eager to enter before getting gear, and what that all looks like. And also potential of what you can do with some of the different mats that come into this instance. So starting off, I just wanted to go over some of my gear. I don't have the best gear, that's for sure. I've not been doing heroics, but you can buy these on the auction house. They're fantastic. I believe all classes get a form of stealth detection if they stealth, and 1 point per, I believe, is just universal. So since it's universal, if you have this pair of boots on, then you technically have one more than even the talent points allow. The opportunist gear, other than, looking super dope, is very, very good for HP. I also don't have tons of HP, but I got enough. I got 7,464 with no buffs on. Rest in peace, world buffs. And I even have some really good gear you can get from quests that you should totally go and grab. It's within your means without having to get a bunch of people involved. I don't even have a meta gem, you see, because I already got speed on boots and haven't got a chance to do the spirit shard dungeons yet either. This guy might be weird, so I'm going to back up a little bit. I even wear rings that might not be the best, but they give stam, and these are really what the best I've been able to grab here is. I got very lucky and got this on my first Black Morass, and Vindicator's Blade I bought Exalted right away, as soon as I could, especially while people were oversaturating the auction house. So real cool essential things to grab. Here I don't have even what is really perfect to bring on the run. Just got a little bit of food, made sure to get Sporgar Exalted while I was leveling up, and I have some free food from that. All the different poisons we'll go over inside the instance very quickly, because once I get in the dungeon I want to just start right away and show you guys a full run. Wanted to point out that I'm an alchemist to make money, and with cooldowns, I'll switch it around as the expansion goes on perhaps, but I really do love the cooldowns alchemy provides. I have one alchemist per character with 5 alts. Makes you a lot of money. I can go over that slightly later when going over what the materials overlap and provide. Mining. I went and dashed and leveled up mining after doing this without mining. I was Herb. Herb is, touching on that very quickly, just in my opinion, not too profitable. You get a lot of Ancient Lichen in here, and you can't even get to a lot of other ones. And Ancient Lichen is very low on the totem pole of things that actually provides good profit. So Mana Thistle's fantastic, and that's out in the open world, very competitive to get. People camp it over in Skedis. Herb is not the best for any of the rogue solo dungeon stuff. If you want to go pure profit, you want to go herb mining, and you're just grabbing up lots of material and selling it off. But ROI is why I have my alchemy profession for sure. So other than that, I went and dashed and got mining done. You can smelt practically all the way up to TBC. Just got to dash away and do some little small mining taps to get past stress points, but it was fast. I got this up. I have this pair of gloves that I put mining on that I'll be using in the dungeon here. I'm going to show you the RNG mechanic of the nodes in there that can be kind of annoying when you're going in there to level mining. But these are going to be very, very helpful. These are going to make it to where There's no fel iron in this instance, just adamantite ore and corium spawns and rich adamantite. And as soon as I get one more point of a normal adamantite node, which I feel like is like 70% of the dungeon, out of the nodes you get, I'll be able to jump right into the rich. And I've been locked out of like 2 riches a run many, many times, and that's such a lame feeling. So definitely wanted to bring these along. Touching on my bags, just a final, these are essential, but you can get cloth that drops from the mobs. I never used these. They were just still in my bags. I should bring health pots normally. I ran out, but they're not essential. And I have my PvE gear on me, but I will not be using it because it makes me a glass cannon. My talents, I touched on the stealth detection because it's a pretty big part. You'll see me zooming through this whole situation, but Shadow Step is a very good quality of life one to use. I will be jumping between it because dual spec is broken with Rogue for this. This is my little random combat spec. That's what I'll be used to blade them down. This is why this is the best farm in the game. You get a vendor right here. This vendor, let's hope I don't get jumped. It's got it all. You can make your poisons, you can get your flash powder like I need, and then you can sap dumb horde noobs that are doing this for XP and go inside. Boom. I wanted to try to speed up the video now. Thanks for being patient with that description. Now, I want to double check that I reset the dungeon. I believe I did. Just since it doesn't matter and it kind of displays something perfectly that I could use for the video, is I will reset it since I'm more than good on lockouts. I'm not exact on the lockouts. I believe it's 5 every half an hour, but when you do this dungeon, you won't run into that. It really, if you're extremely fast, you might run into it, but I like to wait for cooldowns, and I'll bring that up as it comes along. Your quality of life will shoot through the roof, and you'll have much less risk if you just wait for your cooldown. So if you do this slightly distracted, it's a very, very chill run. So right away, you can go along this as you want. I've seen a lot of out-of-date videos telling lots of people right off the bat that pickpocketing could be a profitable part of doing this. I get resist so much. I could do a whole video. There's the first chest. There's 2 per run guaranteed. I could do a whole video on pickpocket resist. It's very ridiculous and pointless to pickpocket, in my opinion, on any rogue solo run, because you burn a vanish and the vanish can cheese and you can get screwed. And then you're waiting longer to do what you're here for in the first place. And I pickpocketed 7 things right before I recorded this, and I got 20 silver. You get 5 to 7 gold out of a chest. So, ROI. Your time's valuable. Pickpocketing's silly to me. So I switched to combat. I have 2 instant poisons equipped. You can do whatever you want, but I just do instant poisons. I got a melee and a caster in this group, and I'm gonna get one of the scavengers. I'm gonna have to do this whole group generally. Sometimes you can sap and run away, but that's risky. So I'm first going to sap this guy. Excuse me, cheap shot. Back up a little bit, get the leeway. Hopefully I can get off that riposte. Great. And then I'm just going to blade flare these guys down. This isn't the most stressful. I'm not even using anything and getting my butt beat. But I kind of just want to show guys how simple this can actually be, even if you get screwed over. See, I have really good gear and I wasn't paying attention first time recording. And checking on that sap, I'm doing okay. I'm going to pop adrenaline. And just kick this guy's butt real quick. Hopefully I can sap in time. And I scuffed it. I was going to scuff one of these poles to show recovery, and it just happened to be the first one, and it's my own fault, so perfect. A big lesson in that, don't not vanish and try to go for it. It's not worth it. You only spend about 5 gold repairing your gear if it's super busted, but it kind of ends up being 1 full chest. Now, if I popped everything, those things would have melted. But I was a little distracted, and explaining the jump and the leeway took a little bit. So, making full of excuses, coping here. let's just get right back into it. Now, I don't have a lot of good cooldowns, but this is a good demonstration why I said I wanted to scuff a pull. You can do this however you'd like if you run the setup, but you see, boom. Just got back some really good essential cooldowns I can use for another attempt. 2 minutes flies by when you gotta sit down and eat, so I already got less than 30 seconds left. The hardest pull, in my opinion, is having 2 melee that you have to fight at the same time. You fight 2 casters a lot of the time. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I have evasion up and blade flurry up. It'd be silly not to do 2 at a time. I'm just going to wait for this path to go by. You'll see me clicking on my character menu to click my trinkets, unfortunately, because I could bind them. I do bind them, but for some reason item rack's not letting me clicking them manually, which I like to do. Alright, gonna jump. And let's get it going. Let's see if we can get some parries, hopefully. Boom. Not a ton of damage. We'll be able to make it, because we got Vanish up. These guys don't put the poison on, or do put the poison on. There's a melee in here, I believe, a little bit later on that puts a poison on you. You want to be really careful about poisons that get put on you in this run, because they tick so hard, including the Shadowward Pain that comes up later, that you can die while you're chilling right after the pull's over and you think you're safe. This food sucks. I prefer the cheese. We're going to eat some free food real quick. If you're still watching this, I told you it was an in-depth guide, so buckle in. You can do these very fast, and as you get gear later on, it speeds it up much, much quicker. Boom, got some stupid stuff. Got a little hat. See there, almost 7 gold. I dual spec right back. You can do some goofy stuff with this, including what I'm about to show you guys. Just shadow step right onto a safe mob and keep on going. Makes things a little faster. I'm checking this spot and this spot for a chest, and back here for a chest. The nameplates can kind of get in the way, so I get close. It's right here, and you would see it pretty easily. The other one's right here, and then the other one is tucked away right here. These mobs are green, so when you have full stealth detection, they practically never turn their neck at you. I've seen in quite a few guides touching on pickpocketing again, but not really, is people say you can resist pickpocketing and saps. I have been doing this for a very long time on this character now, and I've never gotten one. See, when I right-click a mob, that'd be so funny. I right-clicked that mob right when I said that, but I have never resisted a sap. I don't think it's connected to anything other than your level versus the mob you're sapping and maybe your melee hit rating. I didn't want to get in the weeds on that. So now that I'm over here, going back there is not safe to respec in my opinion. So I just do it right here. You lose all of your energy when you respec, so you can't really, I would never sap, run back over, and then start the pull with the sap I did in the old spec, because look at how far along it's gone. That's not good. You would want to do it while still in your spec. So here's the thing is, past this point, we've gotten 2 chests. There's kind of quadrants, if you will, that the chests will spawn that I'll make it to the end of the dungeon and show. And once this chest is looted, we just have nodes to get. You don't always have to fight for nodes. Nodes can be in the open and you can get them freely, but chances are past this point we might have to fight for some nodes. So these paths aren't that scary. We don't have to worry about them too much, but one thing I'm going to do is make sure I have all my cooldowns up, so that should be the case this time around. It doesn't really matter which one you sap first, but the Darkcaster puts on a Shadowward Pain that's very, very stupid and annoying and can really ruin everything. Technically, sapping the Priest first is kind of the best because they're the softest and worst one. So, turning everything up. And you see that heal's going off, I'll kick it. Sometimes I don't kick it because you just attack it so fast that it's dying and it would be a waste. I wouldn't kick these one's Arcane's missiles either, and I did so good on that one that I don't have Vanish, so I don't have an option. I'd love to be able to show you guys how to blind bait for a long amount of time, which I could do on this one, but we should be able to get this one down fine. We got a Trinket up, we got Cloak up, we're getting riposte right off the rip. I'm going to Cloak immediately because, well, that thing ticks while we're fighting. It's not good. This is a perfect time to where I would say, cheese stuff around. Remember, you're a rogue. That blind bandage saved me right there. If I was just going to keep slapping him like a fury warrior, I was going to die. So, going for the kidney. Don't at all want another Shadow Word Pain. It wouldn't kill me, but I just don't want one. Perfect time to distract them. I'm going to go for it right here, even though sometimes I would always say sometimes, always get this. Perfect. Got a Noble Topaz. Always wait for your Vanish to loot chests just in case weird cheese happens. Unless it's blatant, then go for it. Nice. Got a weapon and a Noble Topaz. I scanned this morning. This is the week Karazhan came out. Check that out. The very first run I did of this when I raced to go get mining, I got 3 of these after doing 10. I had no idea how I kept getting them so often. But I almost thought it was common at the point. But you can see here, that's a huge profit in coming in here. Every run, you can estimate that you make like 15 raw gold, perhaps. You loot 2 chests, which go up to like about 15, and then it varies on how much you get from these mobs and what you pick up. I get greens off these mobs all the time. Another little side note while I'm done eating is Consortium rep caps at friendly when you kill these. Kind of a fun way to get capped at friendly, I guess, but you gotta progress otherwise. Real quick, I'm going to respec. And we're going to hopefully get a bunch of nodes that don't have combat so we can get out of here. I feel really safe leaving this area and not having to look around because the only chest spawn was where I killed those mobs. You can have a mine right there and it's safe to get. Keep in mind, everything I've been saying is for level 72 if you've been wondering if this guide works for lower level. I would only do this at higher level. If you're in here at 69, you should just be leveling up. I have nodes checked and all the chests are gone, so there's nothing in this room. There's a chest that can be here, a chest that can be here, and nodes that can be both in those pocket rooms. Sapping, I just sap and walk right over pretty much everything that I come across. And we have one more in here, and yeah, baby. It would be really perfect if we had a rich adamantite at the end of this. So, just because line of sight's all weird in this game, and maybe we'll catch some weird cheese, let's see if I aggro. No, we wouldn't, and the sap probably wasn't necessary at all. Perfect to show. Motes of Earth, baby, yeah. This is what I wanted to touch on in the video with the materials. You get adamantite, which look at that per ore value. Holy crap. It's about 60 gold almost for a stack. If you do a full lockout, you can get a stack almost. Motes of Earth are very valuable for me because check this out. As an alchemist, I made sure to get this recipe on all my characters. This transmute, the profitability changes a lot because people fudge this gem a lot and these a lot. There's less people killing quest mobs. I sometimes go farm these for more profitability, but I do this transmute on a lot of characters and then sell these. So the motes of Earth have been really annoying. Now that I switched to mining, I get these hand over fist. It's just a closing up a profitability point. You can't rely, in my situation, on these out of the mines. Not at all. I got 1 out of like all these runs. Was happy to get it. And I just buy these because they're very competitive. But this run subsidizes my daily profit, which is really helpful. So we're going to head out of the dungeon now. This dungeon's great. This is your first time watching this guide because it's a big donut. You just leave when you're done. We got a normal adamantite, which is totally cool. Still gives a skill up, still is orange. This guy doesn't come all the way up there, so don't be scared. See, he bolts around. So if you're up here mining, I've even been on the lower half and mined, and he didn't see me. Just be careful. And boom. Now, you can get a mining node right here next to this group, and you can get a mining node right here. These guys will pat into you if you don't distract them or get it before they pat to you. This guy might see you too. These guys will protect the mining node, and I believe a chest spawns here too. Right here, let me mute that yapper. He loves to talk, just like me. This group, what I tend to do is I try to have vanish up by the end of it. I only like to kill 3. They're always casters. I kill 2. Let the third one stay sapped. I blind this one right off the rip. Once I kill them, I vanish. Then I come back. I do the sap again. And then I kill 1. And then I come off cooldown. With this, I try to always keep this available in case these guys are here. If I have to use it earlier, I even wait for this because 10 minutes kind of does fly by when I'm doing this distracted. This group is annoying because you shouldn't go toe-to-toe with them early on with Blade Flurry. You can knock out 1 with your pump, but then after you have this one you're finishing up on usually, and then this one's completely full health. There's just no way. Leaving the dungeon now. I've done all sorts of shadow step stuff where I've shadow stepped into these and turned my camera around in time and ran for the fun of it. You can do what you want, but you're safe past around this point. There's been a time I came out of stealth too early and I sat AFK at the front door and the boss and his mobs are running up on me and I ran out in time. But this is a full run demonstrating the in-depth way to go about Mana Tombs as a stealth rogue. Wanting to show this, Ancient Lynching right here almost always. Something you can get if you clear these mobs where a chest also spawns. Since I have Vanish up, let's kind of try to prove my point. Let's see how many pickpockets I can get before I may get murdered. You can get gems out of the lockboxes and from just plain pickpocketing mobs, which is very, very cool. In Steam Vaults, when I was leveling my mining for Mana Tombs, which you can do as a rogue, it's one of the only reliable places to get Foul Iron. It was really stressful because you could only get 1 or none sometimes per run, but I would pickpocket all the slaves in that quarter and I would get resist constantly. So now we're at the end of the run. Just wanted to go over what I got. Nothing special, but I got 5 ore, got some Motes Earth, which I can not get often. Riches can spawn ×2, and I got some grays. Multiply that times, really you can get one of these done every 10 to 15 minutes. Or you can get, about like one done every 10 minutes. In an hour's time, I usually farm about 100 to 150 raw gold, as well as having all of the materials, like the greens that I'm going to go disenchant on my hunter. Using those right now, those planers are going for 8 gold apiece. I also get lots of blues. The blues don't really go for too much money, but I save them because I have lots of alts when the item's good, and then I disenchant them for the prismatics when the sell price is worse. So thank you for watching this guide, everybody. I wanted to go over a kind of a relaxing, long-winded way to describe how this run works for me and my professions and see if that really worked for you guys in your grind. I just want to also say rogues are a really dope class in this expansion. The Warglaves are ours, boys. Just remember that. And a lot of people will crap on us and not invite us to runs, but you need us for runs. We got to fill in DPS. And also, everybody's just jealous of our gold drip. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.